Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fulton Street Beats. I promised you I'd get back to you about the customer service of Harley Benton. And when I received this SC-500 Les Paul style guitar from Harley Benton, had a lot of defects. If you haven't seen that video, I will put that on one side or the other. Anyhow, Harley Benton got back a hold of me and, well, they made things right. But let's discuss Harley Benton a little bit before we talk about their customer service. Harley Benton lately seems to be taking the world by storm with their guitars because they're really inexpensive and they're pretty decent quality. Some are outstanding. I have a Fusion 3 over here and a Flying V that are simply superb. This one did have some blemishes, but this was a very inexpensive guitar. Now, that doesn't mean it should be blemished to the point of, well, you know, that you pay for something. You don't want noticeable blemishes, and that did have this, and it had damage here on the back, right here. There's a big, I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not, but you got a pretty good-sized chunk taken out of it. Anyhow, the anomaly about this guitar was that it played so well and it sounded so good. And if you haven't checked that video out, make sure you check that out. Does sound like a Randy Rhoads Les Paul. It's got some fantastic pickups in it. I don't know what they are. I know they're humbuckers, but I don't know what brand they are. I don't think they're Teslas. I don't know if they're Roswells. It says nothing about it, so I'm really not sure other than a vintage style humbucker. I haven't got into this guitar yet to see what the electronics are or anything like that, but we're going to do that. We're going to get into that in another episode, and we're going to tear this thing apart, and we're going to install some new parts on it also and see if we can clean up some of this cosmetic damage and make it look a little more presentable, even though on camera, wow, sure is a good-looking guitar on camera now, isn't it? Okay. So, bang for the buck. Well, if you stay in that $250 to $450 price range with Harley Benton, you're going to get tremendous bang for the buck. Maybe even lower, because we're just starting to get into some of their lower price guitars, and honestly, this thing plays and sounds great. But they took care of me, and let's get to that. Well, shortly after I contacted them, they emailed me back and asked for some pictures of the guitar, which I happily sent them. A lot of pictures I sent them. I didn't want there to be any mistakes or any misconceptions about the flaws on this guitar and the damage. So upon receiving those pictures, a couple days passed and I didn't know it, but they already emailed me back and I was so busy I didn't check my emails. Well, they felt very bad for my situation about receiving a guitar, even though it was inexpensive, that was damaged and flawed. So they immediately were going to send me a return shipping label to ship it back and send me another guitar or my money back, whichever I chose. Now, this being the anomaly that it is and playing and sounding so good, amazing action, amazing neck, sounds so good, I decided to keep the guitar. I did what a lot of you said in the comment section, and I decided to keep it no matter what. Whether they were going to give me money back, whether they were going to return it, what have you, I decided to keep the guitar. And I informed them that I was going to keep the guitar, and they immediately emailed me back and said, well, we insist on giving you some money off of the guitar then, since it is so flawed. And I said, wow, that's really good customer service. Not only were they going to take it back or give me my money back and send me a new, whatever, they offered to give me money off. I'm not going to disclose how much. No, it wasn't a lot. I didn't get a free guitar or anything like that, but it did help with the purchase of my next Harley Benton. I thanked them. They were very kind, and I said, yes, I will still consider, keep being a customer with you because your customer service just proved to be great for me. Now, that doesn't mean you guys haven't had bad experiences. I've heard a lot of bad experiences, and I'm sure there's different agents that work for Harley Benton that may give you different results. The one that I was working with gave me a fantastic result, and I was very happy, very pleased with the outcome. So, What about these? What about these guitars? Well, most of them got really good frets. So every one that I've had have had good frets. So this one has the best frets, and it's the cheapest out of all of them. This one has the best action, and it's cheapest out of all of them. This one sounds the best, and it's the cheapest out of all of them, even though that is subjective, and so is setup and action. That can also be subjective. My hands are different sizes than your hands. My reach is different than yours. My finger muscles are different than yours. So it's subjective. Setup of a guitar can be very subjective, although there is a ballpark, of course. Now, in other Harley Benton news, this is going to interest a lot of you. Have you been afraid to order a Harley Benton because they're overseas? And I hear that a lot. I took the plunge and I did it, and I've had good results and very fast shipping. As a matter of fact, their shipping is pretty damn fast if the guitar's in stock. Now, if you've happened to have had to wait a while for your guitar, odds are you didn't read down the bottom where it says, well, we'll be in stock in 2 to 3 days or on hand in short notice, something to that effect. But when you're checking out with Harley Benton, if you go to your checkout page and you add it to your cart and you look on the bottom below your price, it will tell you the estimated time when your guitar will arrive, and usually it's 2 to 3 days. So for instance, today I ordered a guitar, a bass guitar. So we're going to let the cat out of the bag on that one, a bass one, and it is cool. And I didn't know they even had this model, and it's cool. And I had to have it. And I said, well, the way Gibson's getting so happy, I'm going to start buying up these guitars that resemble them while I can, while they're at a good price and while they're on the market. If you guys are familiar with the situation with Dean, I suggest you check that out if you're not. Anyhow, Harley Benton is setting up a distribution center here in the United States. That's right. Good job, Harley Benton. Now, let's hope that equates to low-price guitars and low-cost shipping. Now, I can see how this might not really affect the shipping costs that much. Because, I mean, they're shipping from Germany right now, and to have a guitar shipped is right around $70, depending on where it's going. $70, $72. I've seen it as low as $68. For me to ship a guitar on Reverb and package it properly and ship it from New York, where I am, to California, well, if I'm using UPS and I'm using a Reverb and the Reverb discount on shipping, that usually costs me right around $40 with insurance. So think about that. That's for me in the U.S. So depending on where Harley Benton is setting up their distribution in the U.S., it might not make much of a difference in their shipping costs. Although I have a feeling it will, because they ship so much. And wouldn't that be wonderful when we can get a $135 Les Paul that plays like this and then pay a few bucks for shipping? Wouldn't that be great? Instead of the $70, hell man, I'll be ordering guitars and cases all day long. And I like to order cases with guitars when I'm ordering, especially when I'm ordering from Germany. But the cost goes up in the shipping too, of course, because it's a bigger box and it weighs more. But if they can pull that off and keep the shipping costs rather low for the quality guitars that they're putting out now, brother, I'll have every one of them. That's just how it's going to be, because frankly, I'm getting addicted to Harley Benton. And I know a lot of people have had bad results in the past. And all I can say is give them another shot, man, because it seems to me like they're getting better and better. And I think their customer service is getting better too. So, and remember, even anybody can get a bad one that can slip through the cracks. So that doesn't make them all bad. You might have got a bad one that slipped through the cracks, but who doesn't have that? Have you guys really checked out any manufacturer that doesn't have a bunch of them slip through the cracks? Gibson. I mean, realistically, Ibanez. If you guys watch the channel, you know I had a horrible Ibanez here. Horrible. It wouldn't qualify as, I mean, it was shit. The worst guitar I've ever seen. Well, second worst. But that's for another time. Anyhow, I just wanted to update you and tell you about what they did to me for customer service. I thought it was fantastic. And stay tuned. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe, because we're going to be diving into this. And I might even do it in a live stream. I'm not sure yet. We're going to dive into this so you can see firsthand what's going on in here. And if you can see, yes, I got some different knobs on there. We got some vintage style knobs on there. These aren't the ones that are staying on here. I got some other ones with some gold tops that are going to be going on this. We have a new 3-ply pick guard that's going to be going on this. We got some pointers that are going underneath the knobs so we can line everything up nice. We're going to break into it. We're going to shield the inside, even though I'm not getting any microphonic feedback right now sitting right in front of the amp. But we're still going to shield it. We're going to take care of some things that I think should be taken care of. I would like to know what it's got for pots in it. I would like to know what it's got for a switch in it. But as far as switches go, when I'm playing and I use the old on the switch, that's a good indication to if its switch is good to me. It's doing its job? Is it cutting out? Is it switching fast and making that sound? I have some guitars over here that are quite expensive that when I do that little test to, you can't get it. I do it too fast and it doesn't register. So that's a switch flaw. That means the impulse isn't passing through the switch quick enough. And with this one, man, it's like, yeah, we can do the Ace Frehley effect, which is really cool. All right, guys, I'll be talking to you soon. And remember, it's rock and roll that makes the world go round, baby.